So now that my first year is over, I'm going to give a brief rundown of what it is, the first year of law school, for those of you who are interested in going or just knowing about what law school is about. First of all, I guess we can start about how much is there to study. There is a lot to study in each class, and every class can be very different from the others, but at the same time they're all connected in one way or another, and you don't figure that out until late in the first semester or late in the first year or second semester. You're gonna have at least one book this thick for each class. I guess in other episodes I showed my books. So it's one book per class at least. Then some professor assign readings that they post on the internet. Then you have supplements that either they will post or they will make you buy for the book, or that you will go online. On top of that, if you are dedicated to your studies, more likely than not, you will find yourself researching about a specific topic that you want to know more about or understand further. There are also online exercises that you will have access to once you're in law school as a student. When you get to the final exams, which in my law school it's one final per class every semester, so you'll go throughout all the semester for contracts, for example, without having any exercises or assignments due until you get to the final exam where you'll have to present the final. So it's just one shot per class. Besides legal writing. In legal writing, you'll have to do 2 to 3 to 4 memos per semester, the first semester, and then the second semester is one legal brief, which you have to do everything from the cover to the very end. So that class is a lot of work, but it's one of the most important because it's a pass or no pass class in my university. So you don't get a grade, but it's one of the most important, if not the most important, because that's the core of it all, how to write, and in a way that you are going to be persuasive enough to tell the judge or co-counsel what your issue is and what remedy you're looking for. There are also TAs there to help you for some of the professors. The TAs are very helpful in my university. They have been wonderful. They will meet with you if you cannot make to their office hours, and you can email them as well any questions you have, and they will go with you through the material and throughout the semester, helping you get on the things you need to learn. They are usually students. I guess all of the TAs I've had so far are current students that are 1 year ahead of you. So they've been through everything you're going through in that moment, just 1 year before. Now the exams usually are from 3 to 4 hours long, though last semester constitutional law for me was 5 hours long. And this is the thing, the professor will tell you, for example, if you know the exam is going to be 4 hours, the professor will tell you the exam is going to be 4 hours, or you're going to have 4 hours to do the exam, but it's written in a way that you can finish it in 2 or 3 hours max. Well, that's a lie. That's a straight up lie. Just go there knowing that you're gonna be spending from the minute 1 or second 1 of the first hour to the last minute of the 4th or 5th or 6th, whatever, how many hours you have or they give you, writing or typing like crazy and never before in your life. Because this is the thing, the exams are spot issues, usually. What does that mean? That means that they will give you a hypothetical of a situation that happened. For example, torts. I was walking by, I fell into a pothole in the middle of the street, then someone fell on top of me, then because of that, a building exploded on the next block, and then the dog barked, the lady got scared, she dropped her baby, then another guy, you know, there's like the chain of events that happen just because of one thing. And you have to figure out how many torts are in that example, how many lawsuits can you file, who against whom, what is the cause of action, what is the defense, what is the remedy if there is one, blah blah blah. So that is just one example. So you have to figure out every single little thing you can find, and of course the professors are gonna make this excuse me, these crazy big hypothetical situations in which you have to figure out everything you can figure out, and then write it coherently and in an orderly manner and in a way that they will understand your grammar. So I guess by my face you can tell that is unreasonable, and reasonableness is the standard for a lot of regulations and many laws. So from the very get-go, law school is unreasonable. So that's a law school final exam. For example, in constitutional law, we didn't have hypotheticals, but we had brief questions about a question, blah blah blah, and then you just give the straight up answer, this is this, and period. And we got 5 questions of those, and then we got 3 little essay or mini essays in which you have to discuss. They will give you like an example of a law or a regulation, and then you have to address its constitutionality and like the main issues. So that is not as extensive as the other ones, but it's very deep and it's very intense. That is an exam. In my law school, we have a computer software that it will lock your computer. Every other program, it will get locked, so you only have access to this Microsoft Word liked page, and you can type. You type there your answers, and you can flip pages, go back and forth, lock the screen, whatever. You can do whatever. Just everything is done in that software. Once the 3 hours or the 4 hours or how many hours you had to finish the exam, the computer will remind you have 5 minutes to finish the exam. Usually when that happens, you panic and then you go blanked if you haven't already, and then you won't do anything else. You'll be typing like crazy. You'll be typing like crazy. The computer will tell you, thank you, good luck with your life, and it will close the page. So this semester it happened to me that I was in the middle of a word and then my 5 minutes were over, so only God knows what the professor is gonna end up reading, because I never had time to go back and proofread my exams in any class. So that is me, because I am slow. So that is just, I'm just putting it out there. We usually have to proofread our finals, but I never get the time to do it. If you want to handwrite, you also have the option, because this is a procedure. You go to the classroom, you sit down, and then when the time hits to start the exam, you go, you pick your envelope with your student number, and then you put the password on the computer, and then the software comes in. And yes, so you have the paper version of the exam in your hand, and you have to put your student number, your student ID in every page. So if you want to use a computer, you're reading the exam and you just type the answer. If you want to handwrite, you go to a different classroom and then you handwrite in a blue book. And those of you in undergrad know what that is. What is the exact same thing. It's a little blue book. That's it. Literally, it's a little blue book, like this big. You can go in and out of the classroom. You can do whatever you want in those 3 or 4 hours. In my classes, in my law school, usually there's a proctor at the beginning of the exam, and they will stay for the first 10-15 minutes, and then they will leave, and then They come back at the end of it to pick up the exams because you have to turn it back in the paper version. But you can do whatever you want. I actually know of some people that go out in the middle of the final exam to go get coffee, and then they will return, or they take 5 minutes. Personally, this is me during a final exam. So, me doing that 3, 4, 5 hours, how many hours I'm getting, I take no breaks. If I need to run to the restroom, it's because it's absolutely necessary. And I'm really considering wearing diapers next time. Because running to the restroom takes way too much time. So, yes. Some people do have the nerve to take breaks. I don't. I'm cold-blooded, but not that cold. So, but I mean, that's a matter of personal styles, personal stress dealing situation, techniques, whatever. But you can go in and out of the classroom, you can do whatever you want. Awesome. Then, the second semester, we work on a brief, or a legal brief, during the whole semester. And then at the end, we had an oral argument presentation at the circuit court. That was really, really exciting. We got to present our side of the case to 3 invited judges. In my courtroom, there was my professor, there was a retired judge, and one of the deans of my law school. But I know in the other courtrooms for other of my classmates, they had practicing judges and attorneys that the law school invites. So that was pretty cool. And then you get feedback from them. The feedback that I got was really, really good. But basically it was like, okay, Jessica, so you came and told us what was the problem, what you wanted us to do, and told us to do it. And yes, that's basically what I did. I just stood up there and told the court, you need to do this because this is my thing, and go ahead and get working. So I guess that's gonna be my style as an advocate. The court liked it because it complimented my style, because they say sometimes litigants waste too much time just going around issues, and they never tell the court what they want the court to do. So I guess that's a good thing. So yay. The bad thing is that I did not win best oral argument. Boo-hoo. I also did not win best legal brief. Boo-hoo. So I won nothing but stress and a pat in the back from my professors. The professors in my law school are the best of the best. They are very, very helpful. They have an open door policy. Even the dean has that policy. So you walk into the office of the professors and everyone is there. And the only time they have their door closed is when they are actually preparing for class, which is usually like 15 minutes before they're gonna head into one class. So you know they're not gonna be there in 15 minutes, so why then bother walking in, right? And when they are with a student. Other than that, they will be there with their open door waiting for you to go and ask all the crazy questions you want to ask. They are the most helpful people. They will help you not only about law school or whatever questions you have about their specific class, but any other issue you want to talk about, they will be there for you. I have no question about that. Every time I want to talk about whatever I'm thinking, I can go just to any professor and they will help you. And the other answer that you will hear very, very, very often from the very first day you get into law school is, it depends. Everything depends. You'll never get a straight up answer of anything. Not even if you ask what time is it, you'll get an answer, okay? Because most likely the answer will be, it depends. What time zone do you want? So you'll never get a straight up answer. It's very rare when a professor just answers a question without asking you back something else, which is very frustrating. It's not quite the Socratic method, but it is in a way. And yes, at my law school, some professors do use the Socratic method, but not everyone. Here, at every door, there is a sheet of paper with the classroom set, like the drawing of the classroom, and every seat has a picture of the person, because if you're a first year student, you have your seat assigned. So you go to the door, you see where you're sitting, and you see your picture there, and your name, and everyone is there. And that same sheet of paper, the professor has it. So what they do is they look down to their sheet of paper and they say, oh, you, blah, blah, blah. So when they're looking down, everyone goes like, oh my God. So if you are sitting right here and the professor is looking here, you can breathe. But if the professor is looking here and you're sitting around this area, then you know most likely it's gonna be you. Oh my God. They have your picture. So they know who you are, and they have your name, so you cannot hide. And they mark you off. They mark participation off. So if you're not there, some professors will call you next class because you weren't there when they call on you. So next class, you're the one who's gonna get picked on. Oh my God. So then by the 4th week, by the 5th week, when I started getting the hang of it, then I was like, maybe I don't want to be called. Because maybe I'm not right. Because you're never right in law school. I mean, no. That is one thing. Just please get there with your mentality that you're always wrong. Okay? It doesn't matter what you say, you're always wrong. How? I don't know. But you're always wrong. Even if you did your readings, you know everything, you're always wrong for some reason.